Welcome back, or just welcome if this is your first time here. My name is Luca and this is the next part 5 of my anxiety story. If you haven't watched the previous videos, I recommend starting from the beginning. They explain how everything slowly built up. But you're also welcome to start right here with this video. In this video, I'll talk about the phase when I thought I could handle everything on my own, about attempts to return to normal, what went wrong, and how forcing myself only made things harder. This part is about trying to push through fear and realizing that something had to change. Let's begin. So, what now? I know what's happening to me. I know what this is. Everything will be fine, right? From tomorrow, life goes back to normal. Life, I'm back. And what do you think? Did I really return my life to normal the very next day? Of course not. I went to work, I stepped outside of my safe zone. And somehow, with a lot of stress and inner tension, I made it to the office, even though I wasn't alone. I was traveling with my wife. She worked near my office, and honestly, she was there to help me, to help keep my fear under control. But already, the first day at work, a thought appeared. What if the heart racing starts again? What if I start choking again? And I'm far from home, from my safe home. And guess what? It happened. I had another panic attack, heart racing, shortness of breath, right there in front of my colleagues, asking them to call an ambulance. A very nice scene, right? The hardest part of all is trying to explain to someone what is actually happening to you. That's why I truly believe that people who have gone through this are often the ones who can talk about it most clearly. As I said before, I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, but over the past few years, I've done a lot of self-analysis. I've gone through many challenges. I've talked to professionals. I read a lot about this topic, and I've tried different techniques. I did all of that to help myself first. And now, through this story, this channel, and the community I'm building, I want to help others too. I'm not saying this to minimize the importance of professional help. Quite the opposite. Personal experience is just a bonus, not a replacement. And it's also true that many psychiatrists and psychologists have faced anxiety, panic, and trauma themselves. For many of them, the desire to understand what was happening inside is what led them to choose this profession in the first place. To keep this from turning into a boring lecture, let me shorten this part. My forced attempts to return to normal, going to the office, driving a car, using public transportation, did not go the way I hoped. In those moments, it felt like my conscious thinking mind had gone on vacation, leaving all the work to my subconscious. And my subconscious already had its own autopilot settings, predefined reactions stored deep in the system, ready to take over without my permission. Any thought, even one that didn't match reality, could trigger a response. Switch the body to fight or flight, pump the heart faster, breathe quicker and shallower, all of that automatically. Every time I left my safe house, I needed a plan, an exit strategy, or a way to completely avoid situations that could lead to another panic attack. I carefully choose options that allow me to keep at least some sense of control. I started using stairs instead of elevator. I avoided roads where I could get stuck in traffic with no way to turn left or right. That kind of situations drive me crazy. Long tunnels, subways, they were out of the question. And in cases where I couldn't avoid situations where I didn't have full control. I always carried a few safety items with me: calming medication, a bottle of water, and sometimes another person just in case I needed to reset. Luckily, I only used water and sometimes supportive person. I somehow managed to avoid the medication. What became very clear to me at that point was this: I had to change something, and not just a little. If I continued like this, I would very quickly end up taking pills at the smallest hint of panic attack. And that was definitely something I didn't want. In the next video, I'll talk about what I changed, what didn't work, and the first steps that actually started helping, even though they felt uncomfortable at the time. So stay with me and see you in the next video.